Hello everyone, it's Sandra and welcome to today's video. Today I wanted to talk about fragrance. Fragrance is one of my big loves when it comes to beauty, and slowly but surely over the years I've been sharing my fragrance collection with you in these little seasonal edits. So today's video I wanted to share with you my top 10 summer fragrances for 2023. My summer preferences tend to be pretty predictable. I am really into citrus. I'm not going to be ranking them or anything, but I will start with the newest. And this is a fragrance that I've talked about before. I mentioned it a couple of videos ago that I was thinking of buying it, and I ended up buying it. So here it is. This is Perfume de la Tierra by Ceremonia. Ceremonia is actually a hair care brand, but they have recently dipped their toe into fragrance, releasing this. Such a gorgeous, genderless fragrance, and it's a beautiful balance between a juicy citrus, it has a lot of bergamot, and then a really delightful woody dry down. There's a lot of driftwood and vetiver in the dry down. So this is the type of fragrance that both my husband and I can share in the summertime. We both really love bergamot and vetiver, and this is such a beautiful combination of the two. The official description here is, this perfume reveals the duality between nostalgia and modernity, blooming with soft woody notes and a delicate hint of bergamot alongside subtle whispers of pink pepper, vetiver, and driftwood. It blossoms into the woodiness of a vibrant, humid rainforest. The top notes of this fragrance are bergamot, pink pepper, and basil. The middle notes are peach, ginger, and jasmine, but I don't find the jasmine to be super overpowering in this fragrance. I definitely find the peach and ginger stronger. And the base notes are vetiver, driftwood, and tonka bean. I really smell the driftwood on my skin as this dries down. It really does have that rainforest vibe as it dries down on my skin. The initial spray, like the first hour of this fragrance on my skin, it's very juicy, very fruity, and then it just has this really sexy woody dry down. This really reminds me of Byredo Bal d'Afrique, but I find that this lasts a lot longer on my skin. I never ended up buying the full-size bottle of Byredo Bal d'Afrique just because it didn't last on me. After about an hour, I couldn't even smell it on myself anymore. And I just couldn't justify such a high price tag for something that barely lasts on my skin. I have other Byredo fragrances that perform better on me, but this definitely has Byredo Bal d'Afrique vibes. So I'd say if you like that, then you will enjoy this as well. They sell this at Credo, they sell this at Sephora. Ordering a fragrance blindly online can be kind of a risk, but it's a risk that I'm really glad that I took because I really love this fragrance, and my husband loves it too. He actually wore it this morning. Switching it up a little bit, we have Maison Margiela Bubble Bath. This is very clean and soapy, but there is a really beautiful coconut base note in here that really reminds me of summertime. I always associate coconut notes with hot weather, tropical weather, summertime, vacation, and this just smells like if you've been to the beach all morning and you get back to your hotel room in the afternoon, you take a nice shower. That's what this smells like to me. It smells like soapy, clean skin with a very soft coconut base note. So yeah, to me it's just like taking a shower in the afternoon on vacation. That's what this smells like to me. It's a really beautiful fragrance. It sits closer to the skin. It's more of a soft skin scent, but it is very beautiful, and I can still smell it on my skin for a long time throughout the day. Like it lasts well on me. It's not the type of fragrance that somebody will smell on you unless they're close to you or they're giving you a hug. The top notes of this fragrance are soap and bergamot. The middle notes are lavender, rose, and jasmine. The base notes are coconut, white musk, and patchouli. This actually works really nicely with the deodorant that I'm using right now. I bought the Dove Caring Coconut deodorant scent, and I find that this layers really beautifully with that. So that's a little deodorant layering tip for you. But yeah, this is a beautiful, clean skin type of scent. Going back to citrus land, this is Clarins Eau Extraordinaire. Now this is not a perfume, this is more like a body mist. It doesn't have the longevity of an eau de toilette or eau de parfum. This is more along the lines of a body mist. This doesn't have the longest lasting power, but this is just the most beautiful fragrance to have in your gym bag or in your purse throughout the day, because it just gives you that extra oomph. I love a body mist. I used to be very loyal to the Chanel Chance Eau Fraiche body mist. That's something that I repurchased numerous times, but then I switched to this, and this is a little bit less aquatic than the Chanel Chance Eau Fraiche. This is more citrusy, and you know, I clearly love my citrus notes, and this is just, it's beautiful. This is so perfect for those really sticky, hot, and humid days when you just want to smell fresh and clean and not cloying at all. This is perfect for that. And the notes are very straightforward. It's all stuff that I love. It's citrus, jasmine, ginger, and patchouli, which are all things that I love. This is beautiful. It's so beautiful and fruity and fresh and zesty. How many times am I going to say those adjectives in this video? Probably too many times. A slightly less zesty, more sweet, slightly gourmand take on citrus is Free 00 by Vyrao. I discovered this fragrance last summer, and it just makes me happy. This is a fragrance that I like to wear on summer evenings, and it smells like a luxurious orange creamsicle. It is so delicious. I'm not usually a gourmand girly. This is like as gourmand as it gets for me, especially this time of year, but it is a really beautiful fragrance, and I am just smitten with the bottle. I think the bottle, the packaging is so gorgeous. And I don't know if you can see it, but there's also a crystal. A small crystal in each bottle. So the top notes of this fragrance are mandarin, musk, and water lily. Then we've got lemon, orange blossom, Egyptian jasmine, and the base is vanilla and sandalwood. So that vanilla and orange combination, that's kind of what gives me that orange creamsicle vibe, but it's not cloying, it's not too sweet, but it does have a really soft, delicate sweetness. This is another one of those fragrances that just has a really beautiful, sexy, sweet dry down from that vanilla and sandalwood combination. Like I said, more of a summer evening, summer date night scent for me, but I really enjoy this. Next up we have Durga Debaser, and this is probably one of the sweetest of the bunch, I'd say. It's definitely sweeter than this, but in a different way. This is sweeter in terms of the fruit. This has more of that vanilla sweetness, but I just cannot get enough of this. This is one of my favorite smells in the world. I like to wear this year round, actually, whenever I just want to be transported to a beautiful, hot, sunny day. I bought this right before I went to Cabo for the first time last year. And I love buying a new fragrance if I'm going on a trip, if I'm celebrating something special, if I'm, commemorating a special event or something like that, because then that fragrance will always remind me of either that trip or that special occasion. I automatically associate this fragrance with that trip to Cabo, which was so much fun. It's always such a plus to have a beautiful fragrance that also has really beautiful memories attached to it. So this is just good vibes only in a bottle. The notes are fig, coconut milk, white woods, iris, and tonka bean. That fig and coconut combination is so good. It's so delicious, and yeah, I cannot get enough of Durga Debaser, one of my all-time favorites. Another fig fragrance that I love that is a bit more green, fresh, and woody is Te Matcha by Labo. I have this little baby bottle of it, but I will 100% be getting a larger bottle of it. There is that green, almost bitter note of the matcha. It is present in this fragrance. It's dancing beautifully alongside the sweetness of the fig. So the notes here are fig, matcha, cedar, bitter orange, and vetiver. So it's definitely more green, more dry, more woody than Debaser. This is the fig at a beach resort sipping on a pina colada, and this is the fig in the mountains on a hiking trip. That's the Fig Roundup in my summer selection. Next is Bergamot 22, also by Le Labo. This is another summer fragrance favorite of both mine and Michael. We both love to wear this in the summertime. It's got some, it shares a similar DNA to the Ceremonia. This is a little more citrusy, and it also has a little bit of musk added to it. It doesn't have the juicy fruity notes or the aromatic notes that the Ceremonia fragrance has, but I think they kind of complement each other really beautifully. And of course, as the name suggests, there's a lot of bergamot in this fragrance. I think bergamot is one of my favorite fragrance notes, and I think especially in the summertime, bergamot just works really well in hot weather. The notes of this fragrance are bergamot, vetiver, grapefruit, orange blossom, petit grain, musk, cedar, vanilla, and amber. I have to say, I don't smell the vanilla and amber in this fragrance at all. The musk and cedar are very, very prevalent on my skin, at least during the dry down, and the opening is really, really bright and clean. It's gorgeous. This is like a grown-up version of Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. Next up, we have Byredo Mojave Ghost. This is a fragrance that I didn't love when I first smelled it. I first smelled it years ago, and I've gotten samples of it throughout the years, but I really grew to love it and appreciate it a few years ago when they did that limited edition dry shampoo collaboration with Way. I bought that, and I just loved, the fragrance in the dry shampoo was really strong. I was able to smell it on myself throughout the day, and that's how I grew to really, really love this fragrance. So this year I ended up buying the full-size bottle of it after I ran out of samples that I had, and I'm so glad that I did. This is such a good hot weather fragrance, whether it's a dry heat or a hot humid heat. There is like a dryness, this fragrance smells dry, which I find really refreshing on a hot and humid summer day. Mojave Ghost opens with a familiar yet mysterious fruit note, like a pear grown on another planet. Languid and almost buttery ambrette and sandalwood facet smooth and stretch these slices of fruit into a golden desert sunset, with petals of violet and magnolia basking in its diminishing light. Warm woods and ambergris remain on the skin for hours, prolonging a magical desert twilight. What a beautiful description. It's described as a woody floral, but the floral notes in this fragrance they're very cool and interesting. They just end up smelling really clean and fresh, and I love a woody sandalwood situation in the dry down. So the top notes here are sapodilla, not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, but that is the fruit, ambrette. The middle notes are magnolia, violet, and sandalwood. The base notes are ambergris and cedar. It's not something that was love at first smell, so if you can get a sample of it, highly recommend checking it out, especially if you're living somewhere where it's really hot and humid. Curious to hear your thoughts and whether or not you like it. For me, this just lasts really well. I just love the way that dryness of this fragrance, the dry wood qualities of this fragrance kind of cut through hot, humid heat. Last but not least, I have two honorable mentions by Atelier Cologne. I love Atelier Cologne fragrances. Unfortunately, the brand no longer retails in North America. They pulled out of North America, and they still have a retail location in Paris. So as if I needed another reason to go to Paris, right? So at least, we know that if we ever travel to Paris, we can get our hands on Atelier Cologne. And this line was a citrus lover's paradise because they had so many great citrus notes and so many wonderful options, and these two were my summer favorites. First, we have Clementine California, which is such a classic. I know a lot of you love this fragrance as well. The top notes are clementine, mandarin orange, juniper berry. The middle notes are basil, star anise, and pepper. The base notes, cypress, vetiver, and sandalwood. So it's got all the things I love. It's a juicy citrus. It's really, really fresh and really really zesty, and it has the most delicious balance with that woody, like the base is really, really nice. It's not too woody, but it's just woody enough to kind of balance out the sweetness from the ripe clementine. I don't know, I'm hearing rumblings that Atelier Cologne are maybe going to rebrand and relaunch at in North America at some point in the future. I'm hopeful that they will, and I'm hopeful that they will keep the fragrances that we all love. This was a limited edition bottle of Orange Sanguine, which is just the most delicious, freshly squeezed blood orange scent. This is a lot sweeter and fruitier than Clementine California. This does not have the same prominent woody base, but this is, this just reminds me of Italy. I bought this in, I think I bought this in 2019 before I went to Italy. When I went to the Amalfi Coast in 2019, this was like the fragrance that I was wearing almost exclusively that entire trip. So it takes me back. So the top notes are blood orange, bitter orange, blood mandarin. The middle notes are African geranium, Egyptian jasmine, and Madagascar pepper. The base notes are sandalwood, amber, tonka bean, and cedar. Every time I smell this, I just imagine sticking my hands in a bowl of ripe oranges and blood oranges and just squeezing them all to make fresh juice. That's what this smells like to me. That's it. Those are my summer 2023 fragrance picks. I am so curious to know what you're loving, what you're wearing, what are your top favorite, your one favorite. If you have more than one, give me your top 3, your top 2, whatever you feel like sharing. I love to know what fragrances you're reaching for this summer. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.